Okay. That's okay.
I'm not really
He looks,
embarrassed. because-
no, I mean, he looks familiar because he was.
I look pretty
he-
much the
he
same
was
as
in
the guy that was with Alan, but
That's right. Well, you guys were fabulous, Eddie. You guys did great.
thank you.
So maybe next time you can join him. I think you probably.
That's
could-
okay.
Okay.
I've got things that keep me busy.
You can have a play about ark builders.
Well, I'll tell you, this is going to be, writing the book is only the first step. Because then after that, we want to have these events. We want to market the book. And we have to put it into 2,000 hands. So that's,
Now, is
4,000.
writing one of your hobbies? I know you said you're a nurse.
I don't know that I would call it a hobby. I did write a book on space history, and that was came out in 2010, and I was very pleased with that. But that was based on my passion for postage stamps and space history, and so it's a book about the two. And so I knew the mechanics of putting together a book, and so that's been part of my contribution, is saying, okay, this is how we get the book printed. Now we need a website, and so that's been my contribution. I don't know a lot about the ark builders, although I've learned a lot having interviewed them. But in terms of how the wood gets put together and what happened on the projects and things like that, that's something that my dad's lived for 29 years, and so we have that collaboration.
If I can just leap in, I need to tell you this.
You have to pay if you leave it. No.
I was concerned as the writing was going forward that this was going to be a very dry and uninteresting kind of book. David has interviewed all of the living ark builders. 4 of them have passed away, and those he has interviewed either spouse or another family member, and has produced profiles, 1 or 2 page little bios of each of us. And I think it adds, and these are sprinkled throughout the book, and I think it adds enormously to the interest. It does to me. It makes me interested in reading the book, because I'm finding out things about these guys that I've worked with that I never knew. I mean, there's one who's a professional carpenter, and I've always thought he was a carpenter. It turns out he was a stockbroker before he was a carpenter.
Wow.
There were, there's a host of stories. But David's major writing contribution has been these profiles of the ark builders.
And the epilogue.
And the epilogue. And,
I like the epilogue. Very much.
and the impetus to write the thing in the first place. And it's been
I
great
think
fun.
it's amazing. You got a father and son putting their talents together and their hearts together to create something for posterity, for the town of Natick, and maybe the world. Who knows? I'll put you on my prayer list, and you'll be on a
Thank
New
you.
York seller no wait, how do you say that? New York bestseller
New York Times
list.
bestseller list.
Oh, New
Yeah.
York Times bestseller
Yes.
list. Okay.
We're
start
signed
that
up, but
tomorrow.
I think we have a very, very high number.
You signed on already? At least your name is on there for right now.
Yeah, not so much.
And so, do you still do the work now? Are
Yeah.
you still building and creating?
We are. We got a couple of projects in the works at the moment. We're also looking to do one for the town.
One for the town.
We are, and this isn't quite nailed down yet, but we have offered to repair and replace all the benches on the town common, because they're
Oh,
all
that would be-
they're all getting old.
Are they going to
tired.
put a plaque on it built
Well,
by
they
the
all
ark builders?
No.
Why not? I
Because
think it
they
would be
all have,
great.
all the benches have plaques already. They're all donated in memory of somebody or other.
Oh, so you're repairing them?
Yeah, they're all
Okay.
the wood's getting splintery, and so we're
So we'll put a banner up, repaired by the ark builders.
We're-
Not important. They're really not about
not important.
about the
We're happy
recognition.
I know. I just want to give it to you. That's
Yeah,
all.
but
Thank you.
I think their real thing has been about creating something that they're proud of. And when they do the congregational projects, when they redid the Ark and they had 90 people involved, it was really about giving people an opportunity to contribute, setting the stage for people to take that passion and that talent and put it into something useful. and they've done that.
And people who joined us in these two big congregational projects, every one of them says, I helped to build that. That's the beautiful thing about building things as opposed to making a donation or writing a check. When you
Right.
build something, it's there next week and next year, and you can look at it and you
In
say,
20 years,
I helped
40
to do
years.
that. One of my favorite memories
Yes.
was after we had built the ark, the new ark,
Right.
installed in the sanctuary. I was sitting behind a lady in services, and I heard her whisper to her son, after services, we got to go up there. And so after services were over, she went up, and I kind of trailed them, and I had to listen. She said, what do you think of that? And the kid says, wow, that's way cool. And she says, yes, and mommy helped, as opposed to daddy, and mommy helped to build it. And so people
it's
take
good.
enormous pride in having,
Yes.
regardless of what they did, it might have been big, it might have been small, but they all said, I helped to build this house of worship,
That's right.
rather than just be a member of it.
If we could all donate, if we could all take the time, get off our phones, get out of the TV, get out there and do something for community. Mm-hmm. Yeah, our taxes might even be lower.
Yeah, maybe so. But we would have a better community.
People working together.
Yeah, and doing for other people.
Yes.
Well, I think we got a
would-
pretty good community here in Natick right now.
We do. We really do. Yes.
But there's always room for improvement, right?
A more perfect union.
And I just think you two are going to be very successful with this book.
From your lips,
To God.
Yeah.
you betcha.
You hear that, God? I'm telling you. And women are always right. So now you've got still some more work to do. Do you have any more writing to do in the book?
We're essentially done. This week, the book goes to the next phase, and in this phase, it's being laid out by a professional person who does layout, and then it gets sent to overseas where the book is printed.
Yeah.
And then it'll come back to Natick probably in September, and at that point, we're working on putting together different events.
Right.
We have some wonderful events already planned.
Good.
The book will be available on Amazon. It'll be available at Barnes & Noble, available on the website. We already have a store that's offered to carry it. So we've actually sold some books. Well,
You have sold some books.
the marketing manager has sold some books.
Oh.
We've been doing the writing, but
Yeah.
the book is so successful that the first 10 copies are already sold, and we haven't sent the book off to the layout girl yet. But so we already have venues that are signed up. We have the Vilna Shul in Boston.
No, I don't know. but
Well, it's a cultural focus for Boston Jews, and they're going to be putting on our program, building community, sacred and secular. We're going to have a coming out party for the book at Temple Israel, and that's going to be on December the 7th.
why don't you call Ted Reinstein?
Who's that?
Chronicle.
We're going to.
I have his email if you'd like.
Well, the marketing
the
manager.
marketing. I'll give it to her. I'll give it to her, definitely.
So anyhow, we already have how many? We have at least 3.
The library.
Yeah. The Morse Institute is going to have a program for us. So it's exciting.
well, I think you have an excellent marketing manager.
We do.
She is going to work.
We do. She's
her-
been.
And how often do you get to call your marketing manager mom?
Yeah.
No. Not very often.
Yeah. She's a very outgoing person and has been.
And knows everybody in
Well,
Natick.
and that's because she's been very engaged. They've both been very engaged in the
I know.
community for a long time.
I know.
And that's going to end up
Yes.
helping us when we want to tell people about the
Yes.
book.
I can't wait to finish this so I can shut that off. So, we're going to be presenting your mom and his bride in just a few minutes. I thank you very much, and we have to wrap up.
Okay.
And my favorite thought, I usually give a thought with each program, was the one I took from your epilogue, which I loved. In one way or another, faith suffuses anything we do. And that was a very good ending for the epilogue.
Good. Tell people to read the book.
Yes. And if you see somebody out there is a little bit sad, give them a hug. Everybody needs a hug at least 4 times a day. Thank you for watching. Thank Jay. Thank David for being here with us on
Been a
Sizzling Seniors. You're not a senior.
Well, thanks for the opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome.